Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good
Hello.
afternoon. Is it afternoon? Is it getting to good evening time? What's the word on the street? Good evening? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello. The internet as well. I don't know what time it is there, frankly. Could be any time,
It's
literally.
all times on the internet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
all-time internet. Yeah.
So we don't always rehearse the starts of these things.
As much as that one.
Yeah,
be
we have been crafting that. I said, I think, James, you should go on a riff about what time is it on the internet.
Yeah, yeah. And I said, I don't think it'd be a good idea. I think I'll
And
run out of steam
I
quite
insisted
quickly.
upon it. I said, no, they'll love it.
But you were right.
I was right. It's a great start.
They loved it ever so quietly.
Yeah. Sometimes people laugh inside.
Yes.
Don't they?
That's what they tell us.
It is. Yeah. It's not coming out on the stream, but there's a lot of inward laughter in the room.
It's a good thing, and thank you and welcome to us. No, again, I shouldn't have practiced that.
I
shouldn't have practiced
the problem
that.
is we're nervous. It's been a while since we've done a live stream in a room, and every time we do this, and I'm always nervous of these cameras because every time we do this, I check myself in the mirror upstairs, and I look like a little angel, and as the people in the room can attest, I look like a little angel, and then I see what I look like on the screen, and it's just ghoulish, just like a cadaverous.
It's like the mirrors in like the Haunted Mansion, Disney. You look, start angel, and as you turn, you turn.
Yeah. So it's the cameras, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
I look great in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, now we laugh outwardly. When it's a caustic laugh of cruelty, we laugh outwardly. Okay.
Well, welcome to Loremen Live again.
James, what is Loremen?
Well, it's
We say it. We've said it once a week for the past 100 years.
170 years. Well, it's a podcast about local legends and obscure curiosities from days of yore.
Days of yore, you say.
I'm James Shakeshaft.
And I'm Alasdair Beckett-King.
Yes. Nailed it. Absolutely.
Yay! Yeah, actually. Yes.
No, you're right, sir, not to applaud. Just you. Oh, you wooed.
Thank you for
very
wooing.
much. Spooky woo or happy woo? Or a scare, or like, oh, is that a spider? Oh, it was skeptical as well.
Yeah. Well, I think we encourage skepticism. Skeptical woos are welcome, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Does anybody not know what Loremen is, by the way? Is anyone here by mistake? Because that does happen. By way of a spooky woo, who's confused? Oh. One spooky wooer is confused. Well, it's a podcast. Me and James do it. It's already started. I mean, what more information do you need, to be honest? These people all seem on board. Ish.
Well, basically, we talk about like weird little bits of history and sort of ghost things. So if you're easily scared, that's going to be great. I'm going to really look forward to it because you'd have to be very easily scared for some of this.
I think it's a really scary podcast. I scared you with that telephone one.
That
Susie's
telephone,
dying
yes.
story.
Susie's
Everyone
dying.
got rid. Susie's dying.
Susie's dying.
But then people corrected my Lancashire accent and it ruined it for me. Should be Susie.
Susie's dying.
Susie.
Susie's dying. Susie. She's dying. Absolutely bang on. Have we got any Lancasterians in the house? Not anymore.
So while James fills his water, I'm just going to fill time. While James finishes his water.
Yeah.
We'll edit that bit out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because that makes it sound to an audio listener that I was weeing. Doing a wee. But I wasn't. I was the opposite. I was doing the opposite. I was replenishing my wee for
You were
later.
sucking wee in.
Just look at the YouTube stream, audio listeners. I'm not a criminal.
Hoovering it in. How do you... Well, I can't... If you can do that, why isn't the podcast about that?
Yeah, that's a good point. To be honest, I've never tried. Wouldn't want to. Thanks. No
Wouldn't do it if I could.
No. And even if I could, I wouldn't do it for money. Nope.
I respect that.
So, I've got a terrifying story for us all today. Ooh,
That's
a
more like
mixture. Nice. There was the surprise, there was the scared, there was the anticipatory woos. It's the triptych of woo.
All types of woo.
Yes. So I've been looking in one of the friends of the show, Haunted Houses, by Charles G. Harper.
Charlie G.
Yeah, Chucky G.
The OG
Harper.
Charlie.
Now, this
Harper.
book was originally published 1907. This edition is very 90s, as you can see on the stream. It's kind of scary, but I mean, this should be a leather-bound book, really. But that doesn't affect the contents, so don't you worry. It's terrifying. I want to talk to you about the Luck of Muncaster, or the Luck of Moncaster, depending on whether you're from the north or the south.
That's very thoughtful of you, James. I would say Muncaster.
Especially as this is in Cumberland, which is no longer a county.
It's now Cumbria.
But the sausage lives on.
James, you can't kill a sausage.
You might be able to kill an individual sausage, but the idea of sausage, that lives
Whoever
on.
heard of a sausage who really dies?
No sausage ever dies. It's good.
I love it when someone enjoys things on a slight delay. I'm not sure if that came out on the stream, but there was a little snort that I really appreciated.
Have you heard of Lux in general? Alasdair, I'll ask you.
Lux.
You've got a microphone.
Thank you for throwing that one to me. The answer, James, is no. I've heard of luck.
Luck as a concept.
As a concept.
Well, this is the opposite of the sausage, because this is not this luck is not a concept. It is a thing which can be broken. So
Can I just say that is the most confusing link you've ever done on the podcast? It's the opposite of a sausage because it's a thing that can be broken.
Well, as we just established,
How are these people supposed to make any sense of that?
You cannot break a sausage. I think we just spent 5 to 6 minutes establishing that you can't break a sausage, but you can break a luck. So what a luck is it seems predominantly in the north. One of the most famous ones is the Luck of Eden Hall, which is a hall called Eden, and it's a glass vase that was apparently found.
Glass vase.
Thank you for the live interpretation. It was a glass vase.
Glass vase.
Glass vase.
Glass vase.
Glass vase. That was apparently found by a butler.
A bustler?
I went to say butler in the sort of poshest way, and I ended up saying bustler.
That's just a busy butler, though, isn't it?
A bustler. It was found by a butler near a well in the care of some fairies, some fae folk, some little people, and he frightened them off and grabbed this sort of elaborately decorated glass vase, and it gave the house luck. The quote goes thus: "If that glass either break or fall, farewell the luck of Eden Hall."
Oh, so the luck represents luck.
Luck, yes.
So it's not as confusing as we
sausage.
thought.
It's not as confusing as a sausage.
So in a way, it's the opposite of a sausage. I understand
the
now.
exact opposite of the idea of sausage.
Now that it's been explained to me, that's exactly how I would put it.
So in the past, specifically 1463, Henry VI, it says here, the most unlucky of monarchs, gave Sir John Pennington, at some time after the Battle of Hexham, this bowl, the Luck of Muncaster. I've said
so. This is the thing it was a vase in the last story, and now it's a bowl.
So the Luck of Eden Hall is a vase.
Some classic nonsense going on here.
The Luck of Eden Hall is a vase, but we're going to Muncaster.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was confused then.
And this is a bowl. All these different places have different lucks. One place has got a luck. There's a trombone. I think that's just a kid who wanted to learn trombone and didn't want it to get taken away from him. So he said, "Oh wait, actually, it's luck. If you break this trombone, we'll lose our luck in this house." But no, the Muncaster luck, or Moncaster luck, is apparently still there in Muncaster Castle. You can visit it to this day if you go to the Lucky Cup motorbike race and buy a ticket, you can go and look at the Magic Bowl.
To the Lucky Cup motorcycle.
Yes, there's a Lucky Cup motorcycle
It
race.
sounds like a thing from Final Fantasy. Is
I
that a
think-
real event?
I think it's one of the new Mario Kart levels. But yeah, no, you can. It's still there, and it's still lucky. And I say that question mark because of the stories I'm about to tell you. Thank you very much. So, the Muncaster Hall has passed through many different people, the Earls of Muncaster, and in 1863, the Lord Moncaster, who'd married a Miss Constance Lestrange,
Ooh.
which is French for always weird. And they travelled largely in the east, and they were coming back, and they reached Athens, which is in Greece. The country, not the musical. And they were on the historic plain of Marathon. Now, they were travelling with some friends. With Lord and Lady Muncaster were Mr. and Mrs. Edward Lloyd, their child, Mr. Frederick Grantham Viner,
Weird name for a child.
a brother of the Marchioness of Ripon, Mr. Edward Herbert, and Count Herbert de Boyle. And they were surprised.
Which is French for...
Well, it's French for what you do to water before you make a cup of tea.
Herbert the Boyle.
Yes, you're Herbert the Boyle.
Okay.
We say put the kettle on,
Yeah.
but you know.
Herbert le Boyle. De Boyle.
Tu voudrais un thé? Je suis Herbert de Boyle. I'm just going to boil that Herbert.
I am Herbert the Boyle.
Yeah. That's what they say, because
Yeah.
it's like the joke, like, I'm going to put the kettle on.
Yeah.
Oh, it won't suit you. I'm Herbert the Boyle. It's France.
Classic Gallic humour.
Ouais.
We've got some French people in, because
That's why they like it.
enjoying that way more than any of the rest of it so far.
So this bunch were surprised and captured by a band of brigands, and they were kidnapped, basically, in Greece. Before nightfall, the ladies and children were released, but the men were taken to the brigands' secret lair. And the next day, the brigands realised they needed to get word out that they kidnapped. So they
They've planned this so well.
they allowed one of the captives to proceed to Athens to negotiate a ransom. And their terms were £30,000 in gold, a free pardon for past and present offences. I would have got him for future ones as well.
You can't commit a crime and demand to be let off crimes.
Well, it says here they're impudent terms.
That is pretty impudent, actually.
And they wanted some of their gang who were in prison to be released. And basically, Mr. Viner drew the lot to go and do it, but he decided to give it to Lord Moncaster because he had a wife and so on. So Lord Moncaster went, and he was warned that if they got the cops onto them, that they would kill the remaining hostages. And Lord Moncaster went to the Greek government, and they secretly prepared an expedition. And the brigands got word of this from their spies, and they did kill those hostages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did.
Wow, I'm glad I didn't make any sarcastic remarks while you were telling that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to cut out that Herbert de Boyle bit.
Yeah. So Herbert, he's dead now, that
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
whose name
yeah.
we were having a lot of enjoyment
It was
from.
in 1863, so again, if he was alive now,
He'd be dead by now.
he would be dead.
If he was alive, he'd be dead.
Yeah, anyway, and the brigands got caught, and they... Yeah, good point. The brigands got caught, and they were taken to Athens and executed. It's not a word. And they were taken to Athens and executed.
So a happy ending.
Yeah. And it said that Lord Moncaster never quite threw off the gloom of this terrible experience, and he erected a stained glass window in the church in memory of his unfortunate fellow travellers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
What a downer of a first. Whoa. Are there any happy stories coming?
Well, in the castle, Muncaster Castle, a feature of the grounds is an extensive heronry. So it isn't all down.
Oh, that probably took the edge off all his friends being murdered.
Yeah. Go and look at
I
the
am sad
herons.
about that, but I do enjoy looking at a heron.
Yes.
He probably thought to himself.
Yeah. So that's an example of the luck that this magic bowl can bring you.
To be the only escapee of a kidnapping.
Yes.
Wow.
Basically, yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. So.
Are you indicating with your eyes, James, that I should do a bit?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right. We normally cut these bits out. So James, of course, told me that he was talking about the looks of Moncaster et al., and I clearly had no idea what that meant. So
It's a sausage, basically. It's sausage.
It's the opposite of
It's
sausage.
sausage related.
He tried to explain it to me, but I didn't understand it at the time. So I decided, not based on misunderstanding the message, to research some of the superstitions of the area, things that are lucky and unlucky in Cumbria. And my source for this is Ancient Customs and Superstitions in Cumberland by a Craig Gibson, Esquire. By A. Craig Gibson.
One of the big...
Could
one
be
of the
any.
main-
We don't know. He's very vague about this.
That's nice and humble, actually. I'm not the Craig Gibson. I am but a Craig Gibson.
Craig Gibson.
And you can kill a Craig Gibson, but you cannot kill the idea of a Craig Gibson. He's very much like a sausage.
And this comes from 1858. And
Just 2 minutes to 7. Thank you.
I've got something.
See, I knew the time humour would come in.
Apparently, according to him, Cumberland, as was, is full of omens, good and bad. They are abundant in Cumberland. It is a bad omen to see the new moon for the first time through glass, or without money in the pocket.
Oy. I wear specs, and I'm always broke.
Yeah, James, you're short-sighted and penniless.
Oh, no.
That's terrible news for you.
Don't look at the moon.
But
Huh?
this applies to young girls, so not good news for you. But if young girls turn their aprons at the first sight of the new moon and wish, their wishes will be granted. It's a good omen to see the first foal of the year with its head towards the spectator, but a bad one if reversed. And I assume that means the foal facing away rather than the foal's head upside down. Because if the foal's head's upside down, that means you've been caught in one of those traps from cartoons. Where you put your foot in a loop and it goes whoop and you're upside down.
Yep.
So that is unlucky. It is unlucky to help anyone to salt.
Oh.
Shouldn't have to say that. Every grain of wasted salt brings a grain of sorrow to the waster.
Oh, gosh.
A hare crossing the path is ominous of evil. And the writer, I have known... And the writer says, I have known people to turn back and deferred important errands when it has occurred. Whistling maids are very unlucky, and so are crowing hens. Do hens crow?
I wouldn't have thought they were doing an impression, surely, of a crow.
In short, he says, all sorts of incidents are made to bear superstitious fruit, and events the most commonplace are endued with significance that ordinary people would never dream of attaching to them. The implication there being that no one who lives in Cumberland is ordinary. Those are some of the superstitions. There are many conventions and customs that are very strange. There's riding the stream, which happens on the River Ian.
There's one Ian here who was just drifting off. Is that what? What's that?
It's spelled E-H-E-N. I think I listened to a video of someone saying it. If it's not pronounced River Ian, I don't want to be right,
No.
basically.
God, no. I want.
They ride from the River Ian to the sea. They would get on their horses, they'd ride down the river, smashing things up as they went, and getting a little bit tipsy along the way, I think it's fair to say.
And is that good luck?
Well, this is a custom rather than a superstition.
Yeah,
this is just something to do. They did it once a year. It was a big deal, riding the river. Refreshments were levied or provided at certain places on the river, and as all members of the cavalcade had to partake of these, either by compulsion or choice, rude practical jokes. I'm going to say that again. Rude practical jokes of a very moist character were freely indulged in. So,
what has Ian been up to?
Another unusual custom in Cumberland pertains to the Cracker Christ.
Oh, woke up at the Cracker Christ.
Which does sound like a delicious biscuit, but is actually a curious misnomer for cockatrice or cockatrice.
Oh, right.
Although in this case appears to have just been, I think, a bat. Basically, a local copy holder, which is like a tenant farmer, I think, in the local terminology, didn't have to pay the whatever it is, the tithes to the local parish because his ancestor had dealt with a Cracker Christ. I love a Cracker Christ.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, delicious.
Do you want a whole slice of Christ? No, just a crack.
Just
Just a Cracker Christ.
I'll just nibble on a stigmata. The end of his 2 fingers, they're the nicest bit. The Cumbrian monster is alleged to have been nothing more formidable than a bat of extraordinary size, which terrified the people in church or vestry one evening, so that all fled save a particular clerk who, valiantly giving battle, again against this bat, succeeded in striking it down with his staff. And for that, his ancestors forever were freed from paying their dues to the parish.
Because he battled a bat?
Because his ancestor killed a Cracker Christ.
A Cracker Christ?
He killed a Cracker Christ. There's a wedding custom, which I thought you would like. Wedding cake, pretty normal. Did you have cake at your wedding, James?
No.
Arrogant man, James.
We didn't.
You scorn these ordinary people. These.
We did a Japanese thing. We had a big sake barrel, which is but one letter different from cake, but pronounced ever so differently.
It's not. You don't pronounce it kake.
No.
And you wouldn't have it in a barrel.
No. Yeah.
Did you cut the sake?
No. You. It's like it's got a wooden lid, and you hold a mallet, and you smash the lid.
This is like Donkey Kong's wedding.
It's called yeah. And that's good luck.
Yeah.
Kagami Baraki.
And then do the guests have to like? Meh? Do they have to jump over the barrel?
Well, then a load of bananas come down with the letters of our name. We just said H and J. Very difficult to catch them. Some of that was true.
It's hardly stranger than what they used to do in Cumberland, which was the tradition of breaking the cake over the head of the bride.
Oh.
And now there is a tradition, actually. There's a TikTok tradition of men who ought to be divorced pushing their wives' faces into cakes now in the present day.
Is that what?
Yeah. I think front row are nodding, and you go like, I was about to say something about them that you can't stream. So I'm going to stop myself. But I think bad things should happen to the ghost guys. But not specific bad things that are against the terms of service of YouTube.
Yes.
But use your imaginations. So I've got myself distracted. Yes, so they would break a cake, which I can only assume is harder and less icing-y than our modern cakes. Would be placed on the head of the bride. She would have a little napkin overhead, and it would be cracked into many pieces, and then the pieces would be shared with the guests.
Oh,
so this is, I guess, just before the invention of knives. That was deemed the best way of splitting up a cake.
I like it. It's sort of the Venn diagram between sort of wedding, religious ceremony, and karate exhibition.
And finally, I have a little unique, I think, story about an individual superstition. I'm just going to link that a bit better. Finally, I have I think, unique story about an individual superstition. I'm going to call this the tale of the phantom thumb. Well, I didn't expect a woo, but I accept it graciously.
You should do, yeah.
We're talking about a man called Joseph Thompson, who, through adventures that I do not know the details of, lost his thumb. Oh, to be fair, he didn't lose it, but it got cut off.
He knew where it was.
Crucially, they knew where it was.
He knew where he'd had it last.
It's figurative when we say he'd lost his thumb. He knew where it was.
By the big axe.
But it wasn't on him where it ought to be. And so, have you seen the TV series The Terror? You've seen some of it, because you recommended it to me and then you stopped watching it, and I got annoyed.
Yeah.
That's Rachel who watched The Terror with me, laughing at the back because we were really annoyed. We tried to talk to James about it. He was like, "Oh, I only watched the first episode." It's like, you recommended it to us. The Terror is about Lord Franklin's ill-fated journey to find the Northwest Passage, but with supernatural spookiness. And I don't think it's spoilers to say, because it happened in real life, that they all die. Because like in real life, nobody knows what happened to them.
Apart from that they died.
They definitely died.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a bit in it where it's really, really scary. It's very serious. But there's a bit where Franklin dies, but all they get back of him is his leg. And they have a funeral for the leg. Oh. And it is honestly, it's the funniest thing that has ever been on television. It's such a. I don't know if it's meant to be funny. It's like they're preparing it, and then you see the reverse angle of the coffin, and it's just a leg in the coffin on its own.
Is it a full-size coffin?
It's awful. They don't bring leg coffins.
They don't do leg coffins, actually.
They've got limited supplies. It's like a 4-year voyage.
Oh,
So that it's a normal-sized coffin with a leg in it.
But what if he hadn't died but just lost a leg and he came back and there's like, oh, where's my coffin? I suppose that's not the first thing you say, is it? I suppose it wouldn't come up until he died, and then they go, yeah, we used this coffin, didn't we, for the leg that time? We should have used a smaller one.
So I can only assume that they built an adorable tiny little thumb coffin, because his thumb was buried in the churchyard, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, consecrated ground. But then he started to feel a strange sensation, which I think is probably similar to phantom limb syndrome. Basically, he felt pain on the stump, the thumb, and Joseph Thompson concluded that this was caused by it being buried in consecrated ground. So he had it exhumed and buried in a field, and then the pain went away. And so he demanded it to his friends, you mustn't bury me when I die. Do not bury me in the churchyard. Because if it was that much pain, if that much pain was caused just by the thumb being buried in the churchyard, imagine a full body's worth of pain.
It's more than 10 times more.
Because it includes the other thumb, for starters, and then all the other bits. And indeed, they were as good as their word. You could go and see a stone pillar, which was the marker of his grave, in any old field, with an inscription that I think probably is the most pedantic grave inscription that I've heard.
Excellent.
And we don't normally stand for pedantry on this podcast. But I'll make an exception. This is the inscription on Joseph Thompson's grave. Joseph Thompson may here be found, who would not lie in consecrated ground. Died May 13th, 1745, aged 63, when he was alive.
That's good. That is good, actually.
How could he be aged 63 when he's dead?
Yes.
Someone really needed a rhyme for 5. You didn't have to. They don't normally rhyme. You didn't have to make it rhyme.
But I guess that the grave inscriber,
Ding, ding, ding.
yeah, must have been like he had that in the lockup for whenever someone died in the year ending in 5. Like, I've got something. They wouldn't let me do this in a churchyard, but we're in luck. Any old field, I say, well, I could do my gags. Would he have anything for any other years? I'm desperately trying to think of rhymes. You died in 1864. Thank you. Just reminded me of the number 7. That's good. That's good, though.
I can see why you might have thought that the problem there was us thinking of other numbers. Rather than thinking of funny things that rhyme with numbers.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. There's at least 4 and 7.
There's an example of a number. Do something for that, James.
Okay, he died in 1867. He was not buried in the churchyard, so therefore will not go to heaven. Underlined.
Oh, people were like, metrically it wasn't very good. It rhymed though, didn't it? Who are you, the guy who did this grave, you pedants? So that's the story of the Phantom Thumb.
Oh, wow, that was a good little story. I like that.
Oh, great. Especially generous applause considering James got nothing for the opening story.
I realised that as I started clapping.
People are not going to applaud because it would have seemed like we were supporting the criminals.
That's good.
It was too sad.
Or the death penalty. It was a very sad story. And if you thought that was sad, well... I've got a tale of murder, but it happened about 200 years previous to that.
That's
so
fine.
it's
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Let's have a laugh. Come on.
Yes.
Let's enjoy the fun crime of murder.
In Muncaster Hall, to this day, or Muncaster Castle, it's referred to as both online.
I call it Moncastle. Save time.
Moncastle. Oh, yeah.
Moncastle.
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 Moncastle. There is a...
Didn't actually save that much time.
No,
did it?
no. It was almost as long as the sausage size. There is a portrait of the 16th century jester, Thomas Skelton, his surname is like someone trying to say skeleton and shave a few seconds off over the course of their life. Thomas Skelton. Some people say that he was the originator of the phrase tomfoolery, because tomfool. Yeah, other people say he definitely wasn't. Tomfool had been a concept around for a long time.
Can you think of any other examples of concepts that cannot be killed, James?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's
Yes,
a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, very
bit,
good
bit
point.
left field. Now, it's absolutely crucial, James, in the edit, take out the earlier riff.
Yes,
So
definitely.
That
The
makes
whole
no
episode
sense.
is just going to be the isolated of that guy saying
Yeah.
sausages. So yes, Thomas Skelton. Tom Skelton. He was a jester, and he was the jester to Sir Pennington. Now, either his first name is Ferdinand or Alan. Should we have a little vote on which one I should go with? Let's hear it for Ferdinand.
Oh, there's a bit of wooing
Let's
going on.
hear it for Alan. Yeah, he's Sir Alan.
The Allens have it.
The Allens have it. But yeah, so Thomas Skelton, he was the jester, and well, this is from the official website of Muncaster Castle, muncastle.org, and is a lot less sinister than the other stories I've heard about him. But it says that he played pranks on people. He would sit underneath a chestnut tree that now bears his name.
Were they moist pranks? That would be my. How moist were the pranks, James?
Funny you should say that. Because if people asked him for directions and he didn't like them, he'd send them off on a route that led to quicksand.
What?
Which is the very definition of moist. Isn't it? It's not wet, it's not dry, it's moist.
He's got us there.
I've got you. I've got you.
I was about to challenge that, but you're right. Quicksand's moist.
Yep. And to this day, little humorous little things seem to go wrong in the castle, like people's equipment gets turned
Oh, it's
off.
the curse of Alan striking you, James.
Oh, that's not Alan. That's Alan's jester.
I'm sorry.
Thomas Skelton, Tom Fool.
Tom Fool.
The original
Skelton.
tomfoolery. But the much more salacious story is the story that I'm going to tell you now. So, Sir Alan had a daughter called Helwise.
Nice.
Helwise. I don't think there's any other way of pronouncing that, right? It's Helwise.
Helwise?
Helwise? I don't know.
Helwise?
She's Hellwise, but heaven stupid.
Aww.
That's the Pennywise rhyme, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Not having a pop at her, particularly. And she fell in love with a local carpenter. And the way that happened was she sneaked out to a dance dressed as a shepherdess. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Probably with a fake lamb under her arm and a crook. And
The bouncer would be like, you can't come in unless you got a lamb.
and
Just a
all
circle
crook.
back round.
And a local guy cracked onto her, Wild Will of Whitbeck, the original WWW. But instead she copped off with a carpenter, Dick. Simply his name. She fell in love with this carpenter, but a local knight wanted to marry her, and he heard off www that she was copping off with this other guy, with this carpenter.
Oh, so the first guy who tried to chat her up starts spreading rumours about her.
Dobbed her in
terrible
to the local
behaviour.
knight. And the knight or Sir Alan went to Tom for assistance in getting rid of this carpenter.
Why would you get a jester involved at this point?
Well,
I can't think of a single murder plot. I can't think of a single murder plot that would be I cannot think of a single murder plot that would be improved by the inclusion of a jester.
Oh,
That's the sentence I was trying to say.
I could think of plenty. They'd all be, it would be way more fun. It'd be like tap in the balloon and then knife, or, the balloon, the balloon.
What, the bladder on a stick?
The bladder on a stick.
So while you're looking at that, you don't see the blade.
Yeah, but you do hear the jingling of bells. In fact, that's the last thing you hear. And Tom went along with this because that carpenter owed him money. So he already didn't like the carpenter. And so Thomas Skelton lured the carpenter to the castle, saying that Hellwise wanted to meet. So far it's so saved by the bell. But it turns. Because the jester...
Who's Screech? I see him as a Screech character.
He's very much a Screech figure. He got the chippy drunk on very strong cider, and then took the carpenter's own chisel and mallet. Yeah. Decapitated him.
With a chisel and... You're going to be there for a fortnight with a chisel and a mallet.
Unbelievable.
Tick, 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 tick. I mean, even once you've got through, you're like, all right, back out.
Yeah.
Tick, 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 tick.
It's disgraceful, isn't it?
It's going to take ages.
I mean, it's more like an alternative to comedy.
Get a saw. Does he not have saws?
No, well, he wanted to. You would think actually a carpenter would have a saw, but
You'd
no,
think.
he did it, and then he. There's two stories. He either took the head to the knight or Sir Alan, or he, and this is the quote from Thomas Skelton: "I have hid Dick's head under a heap of shavings."
Not head shavings.
And he will not find that so easily when he awakes as he did my shillings. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can't say anything nowadays, can you? It's comedy.
I guess that was really funny.
That,
As post-decapitation humour goes.
it's laboured. Yeah.
Wow.
And to this day, you still hear the sound of a body being dragged down the stairs. Thud, thud, thud. And the wailing of Hellwise mourning her love.
And the chiselling.
And probably some chiseling.
A little bit of chiselling, a little bit of neck chiselling.
And just the tinkle of bells.
With each chisel.
Yeah.
Blink, chink,
Oh, that was...
chink, and a little jingle.
Cha-ching,
Bing,
bling, ding.
jingle.
Yeah. And
It's hard to describe on an audio medium
it's
there.
very difficult to do three sounds at once.
Yeah, it
which
really
is.
is.
Chisel.
Chisel, mallet, jingly bells.
Yeah. And
Probably
just
the
horror.
squelch.
The squelch of
The squelch
horror.
of carpenter flesh.
It's a
Well,
very
don't blame
haunted-
me. I wasn't involved.
No, we're just the messengers.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of ghosts at Moncaster Castle. In the tapestry room, you hear the sounds of rustling skirts. Now, I'm no Poirot. It's the tapestry room. And if you don't hear rustling in there, I think that's what's weird. And there's reports of unseen babies crying, and a 3D shadow figure glides towards you and then vanishes.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
3D.
Yeah.
Ooh, futuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does they have like smells and they spray water on you as well?
I don't know
like
if they've
at
got
a
stink
ride.
pots.
Do they have smell
I
pots?
don't think it's a 4D
No, that's a
tapestry
shame.
room.
It'd be good if it was on like hydraulics, so the whole room's like.
Yeah. Well, the opposite of that is staff say that visitors approach the door of the tapestry room and they hesitate as if fearful of venturing inside.
Is that because tapestries are quite boring?
Yeah, I think that's just loads of people go up to the tapestry room. No, thank you. And yeah, Skelton's ghost is meant to be heard to this day doing pranks, hopefully a little more light-hearted than his final prank.
Is it a prank to behead someone? I mean, it's a closer. I'm not saying...
Yeah. You don't know.
It's very hard to follow.
Yeah, you don't want to follow Skelton.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it as a middle spot.
No. It's sort of prop comedy, I suppose. But they still do... they have a competition to become the jester of Muncaster Hall, and you win a wooden hat. So you can enter...
Ooh, a wooden hat.
A wooden hat and a year's
hat.
supply of beer.
Yeah. Oh, some genuine enthusiasm there. I shouldn't have led with the hat.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to enter, let's go up to Moncaster Castle. There you go. That's the story of Sir Thomas Skelton, the murderous jester of Moncaster Castle.
Evil jester.
Yes.
Was he the first evil clown?
I feel like he might have been the original, yeah. It's it from Stephen King's It.
Oh, no. I forgot about our pithy category.
Yeah.
It's it from Stephen King's It.
The greatest category known to man.
Who's the American serial killer who was a clown, and that's where that comes from? What's his? John Wayne Gacy. Because it's hard for us to conceive of a time before that. Because when it was discovered that he was a horrible murderer and a party clown, the newspapers were all like, "What? But clowns are so nice." But all the pictures are of like John Wayne Gacy in clown makeup, and it's impossible to look at it and not go, "He's evil." That's a picture of an. It's just a picture of an evil clown. With hindsight,
yes,
he's ruined clowns.
Well, it might have been that Skelton had
ruined clowns, yeah.
Way before, yeah. So, are you ready to score?
Are we throwing it to the audience, or am I scoring it?
Well, yeah, how should we do it? Do we need to get a...
We've got 10 minutes.
Category.
For context.
We've got full 10 minutes.
That's ages.
That's 2.5 minutes per score.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's we've wasted a little bit of time.
It's less than 10 minutes now.
It's now 9 minutes.
Okay, well, should we just get into the scores then?
Let's just do some scores, yeah.
Okay then. Well, first up, I'm going to go Supernatural.
Oh, well, I can't really remember any of the stories.
There were... Basically, there was nothing supernatural about the horrible tale of kidnapping.
Yeah, that was...
But there is a magic bowl that's meant to bring you luck.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's multiple a bowl, a vase and a trombone.
Yeah.
The triptych.
Yep, BVT,
yes.
Yep.
My story had a phantom thumb. It wasn't really a ghost.
It was the ghost of an idea of a thumb.
Yeah, yeah. We have the eternal sausage always with us.
Yes.
That's immortal.
Yep,
the immortal sausage. What do we think?
But then you've got the rustling tapestry room. Ooh.
Yeah.
Then you've got...
It seemed quite supernatural as you were telling it, but now in summary,
well, the ghost...
Pathetic.
Thomas
a pathetic showing. An insult to the people who've come.
Thomas Skelton did pranks from beyond the grave, which involved turning off equipment. Probably quite important equipment as well, given his MO.
Yeah. And it's bad luck to see a deer in my story. That's quite supernatural. What do we think, law folk in the room, out of 5? It's very generous.
It's going down.
No support for the 4 there.
A 3 and a shake of head over here. 3.
3. I think it is actually. It's okay, but I think it's 3 in a disapproving tone.
Yeah.
So it's a 3. And maybe you could have a little think, James.
Yeah. It's a pass. No. Halves. We don't do halves. We don't do halves.
We don't do halves.
Who's this guy halves?
Get out.
Get out of here. Get out of town.
So that's a 3. That's not bad.
So that's a 3. Category the second is naming.
There were some great names.
There were some great names.
Alan.
Nee Ferdinand.
The River Ian.
The River.
I think it's a 5 just on the basis of those two. The 2 that I can remember. Hellwise. Yeah. Tom the Tomfool.
Tom Skelton. The Carpenter Dick.
Carpenter Dick.
Boyle in the bag.
Yeah, Count Herbert de Boyle.
Yes.
Herbert de Boyle. Constance Lestrange.
Can I just give this a 5? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's a 5 out of 5 for names,
Thank
James.
you
Great
very,
work.
very much. So, my next category is... I wrote it down and everything.
I got overexcited and knocked my mic. Edit that bit out.
Yep. And this category is not so lucky.
Oh, because the
these
looks are actually quite unlucky.
None of it has been lucky for almost anyone involved.
Yeah, and even my examples of things that are lucky, almost all of them were unlucky.
They weren't that lucky.
No.
So, I don't know. Have you got any lucks in your house? Have you got anything that's like lasted multiple moves?
The only thing I've had for ages is I have a Super Mario mug from when I was a kid. But the handle broke off, and now I use it for like paintbrushes and things.
Oh, but
it's the only time because I'm not a particularly sentimental person about things like that. It's the only time I had a mug that was my mug, and since it broke, I've never had a mug that was my mug.
Do you think that broke you a little bit inside?
Yeah, I guess I put aside childish things and became a man.
So you
in 2021 when the handle broke off.
So when that special mug broke.
Yeah.
That physical object special mug broke.
Yeah.
It sort of broke in you the idea of special mugs.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Sort of opposite sausage.
Yeah, in a way, it's the opposite of a sausage.
Yeah. I think all I've got is.
It's kind of a racket, really, isn't it? These looks. They're like, oh, nice house you've got. It'd be a shame if this vase were to be in any way interfered with.
Yeah. Well, and in the Eden Hall one, it was like they forced people to drink from it when they came round, but it's like just putting it in harm's way. Someone dropped it once. In fact, I've got a tale of that.
Oh, you're dropping in a story mid-scores?
Well, it's just an aside.
This is real brinksmanship, James.
Tis but an aside. Sir Christopher Musgrave accidentally let the luck of Eden Hall fall during a drinking bout, but the butler dexterously caught it in a napkin.
What a good name for a butler, dexterously.
And the Duke subsequently celebrated the occasion and his own clumsiness in verses. So he wrote a poem about it.
This guy.
Yeah, it started with, God prosper long from being broke, the luck of Eden Hall. Doesn't even rhyme. He wouldn't get a job as a monumental mason, which is, I remembered ages later, that's the name of the person that does the tick, 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 tick.
So what was the category?
Not so lucky.
Not so lucky. I think it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Well, it's 4 or 5? 4. Okay, it's 4. A lot of people coming in hard on 4 there, James.
That's
I think it might be a 3 actually from the way they said 4, but let's go. Let's go with 4. Keep your fingers crossed.
Thank you very much. And I think the final category, it's got to be the idea of a sausage. Really?
Conceptual sausage.
Yeah, just the idea of sausage.
But I don't know if that can be captured in a number.
Whoa.
Because it's infinite, isn't it?
It could be captured in a number by a monumental mason if we made a little rhyme about it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So is it 5 for the idea of sausage?
Yes, come on.
Oh, that's surprising enthusiasm. I thought you were going to have little tolerance for James's nonsense there. But he's won you around again with his charm and charisma.
Yo.
I hate when he uses that.
Yes, the concept of a sausage is always alive, and that's why this category deserves the number 5. There you go. Tink, tink. Put that on my gravestone. Don't put that on my gravestone. It will confuse me even in death.
I'm going to put it on your gravestone.
Don't put that on my gravestone.
Tall people don't live as long, so I should outlive you by 2 inches. And I'm going to put it on your gravestone.
But not 2 inches is not long.
It's not long.
You've got to get it done before the funeral.
I'm going to be hurrying. It's going to be a real sort of heist situation. I might get a team together. Might get a jester involved.
Clink, clink, because they're good. Evidently, they're good on the old dink, dink, dink.
How's your chiseling? I haven't chiseled in a long time. Or at all, because I'm a jester. Well, you got to learn quickly.
Well,
we should say our thank yous.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Jemima,
yes.
to Lindsay's Jemima for some flapjacks.
Yes, I got a gift. Look at that, I got a Back to the Future mug. Given the nature of these stories, I'm terrified of dropping it.
And I have some flapjacks which I've been forbidden from sharing with the room. And I'm going to eat all of myself. Sorry, I don't make the rules. That's for me.
And thank you very much to Kieran, who's been doing the live streaming stuff.
Thank you, Kieran.
Thank you very much to Bill Murray for having us. Thank you very much to you for coming.
Thank you, Lawfolk.
We'll be around and about in the bar if you want. I've made some new merch, by the way. I'm wearing my own merch. I've made a sticker, and
Is this a new sticker?
this is a
Is
brand
it an
new
unveiling?
sticker. Unveiling. It's a flaming head saying "Good night, sir."
Good night.
Good
What
night,
a great
sir.
catchphrase for a flaming head that is.
And there's a little "Leave me alone" and a 5 out of 5 for supernatural and a 5 out of 5 for naming.
Were you
so
one of those
can
kids that was
judge
always
yourself.
selling things on the playground, James?
There was one
You're
time
like,
I
I've
sold
drawn a
my
picture of
own
Alan
drawing.
Shearer.
I did genuinely want to sell my own drawings of WWF fighters. But then a load of people bought them and started selling them on at a profit. I couldn't work it out. That was blooming capitalism doing me right
James,
over.
you got NFT'd.
I did.
Wow.
It was totally fungible.
I sold pictures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Did
Yeah, but then other people in the class started tracing my drawings because they thought my drawings were traced. Freehand.
What?
Freehand. I nearly said freehand yawl, but I don't think I can pull it.
No.
We've got 1 minute left. I can't start saying yawl.
No, not at this stage. But thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. In summary, thank you.
And good evening. Good evening. Bye-bye.
Now, like all great shows, we just make sure we actually save it.
Yeah, let's
and it's
just
a really tense moment where we have to save the file.
Just pop that. Just going to put it loose on the desktop.
On the desktop. What are you
Loose on the desktop.
This guy's got no filing system. The desktop. What are you thinking? It's saved!
You don't have to do it again.